Mercury races around the Sun faster than any other planet, completing a full orbit in just 88 days. But did you know that despite this speed, a single day on Mercury, the time it takes for the Sun to return to the same spot in the sky, lasts twice as long as its year? That's right, one day on Mercury equals 176 Earth days. How many people do you think are aware of this mind-bending fact about our solar system's fastest planet? What is greatest elongation east? Mercury is often called the elusive planet because it's so tricky to spot in the sky, hidden close to the blinding glare of the Sun. But there's a special moment when Mercury steps out from the Sun's shadow and becomes visible in the evening sky. This moment is called greatest elongation east. At this point, Mercury reaches its maximum angular distance east of the Sun, meaning it appears farthest away from the Sun's glare as seen from Earth. This event is a golden opportunity for skywatchers because it's when Mercury shines brightest and is easiest to spot just after sunset. Since Mercury orbits the Sun quickly, completing a full orbit in only 88 days, it reaches this greatest elongation roughly every 116 days, giving us several chances each year to catch a glimpse. The angle between Mercury and the Sun during this event varies between about 18 and 28 degrees, depending on Mercury's elliptical orbit, which means some elongations offer better viewing than others. To see Mercury at greatest elongation east, you'll want to look toward the western horizon shortly after the Sun sets, ideally with clear skies and minimal light pollution. Using binoculars or a small telescope can help you spot this speedy planet as it twinkles low in the sky. This event isn't just a treat for casual observers. Ancient astronomers carefully tracked Mercury's elongations to understand its orbit and improve early models of the solar system. So next time Mercury reaches greatest elongation east, don't miss your chance to see one of the solar system's fastest and most fascinating planets lighting up the twilight sky. Why is Mercury's elongation important? Mercury's elongation is more than just a cool astronomical term. It's the key to unlocking our view of the solar system's swiftest planet. Because Mercury orbits so close to the Sun, it usually hides in the Sun's intense glare, making it one of the hardest planets to spot with the naked eye. But at greatest elongation east, Mercury reaches its farthest point from the Sun in the evening sky, giving us a rare and precious window to see it clearly. This elongation is crucial because it marks the moment when Mercury's position relative to Earth and the Sun allows sunlight to reflect off its surface at an angle that makes it visible just after sunset. Without this event, Mercury would remain lost in daylight, invisible to even the most dedicated stargazers. Observing Mercury at elongation helps astronomers track its orbit, study its phases, and understand its relationship with Earth and the Sun. It's also a reminder of the dynamic dance happening in our solar system, where planets race around the Sun at different speeds and distances. For casual observers, elongation is the perfect chance to spot Mercury's bright, quick-moving dot against the twilight sky, a fleeting glimpse of a planet that's always on the move. So, Mercury's elongation isn't just an astronomical curiosity, it's the planet's spotlight moment, a brief but brilliant chance to connect with one of our closest planetary neighbors. How often does Mercury reach greatest elongation east? Mercury's rapid orbit around the Sun means it doesn't take long for this planet to reach its greatest elongation east multiple times each year. In fact, Mercury completes a full orbit in just 88 Earth days, making it the fastest planet in our solar system. Because of this swift journey, Mercury reaches greatest elongation east approximately every 116 days, or about 3 times annually. This frequency gives skywatchers several opportunities each year to catch a glimpse of Mercury shining brightly in the evening sky. However, each elongation event is unique. Mercury's elliptical orbit causes the angle of elongation to vary, so some appearances are more favorable than others. The timing of these elongations also shifts slightly with each cycle, meaning the best viewing windows can fall in different months and seasons. This regular rhythm of elongations is a cosmic dance between Mercury's orbit and Earth's own movement around the Sun, creating a predictable pattern that astronomers have studied for centuries. For those eager to plan their skywatching sessions, knowing when Mercury will reach greatest elongation east is essential to maximize the chance of spotting this elusive planet. So mark your calendar roughly every 4 months, and prepare to look westward just after sunset. Mercury's dazzling show is ready to begin again. This frequent occurrence reminds us how dynamic and ever-changing our night sky truly is, with planets like Mercury constantly moving and revealing new wonders to those who watch closely. Typical angular distance during greatest elongation east. The angular distance between Mercury and the Sun during greatest elongation east is a fascinating aspect that determines how well we can see this speedy planet. Because Mercury's orbit is not a perfect circle but an ellipse, the maximum angle it reaches from the Sun varies each time it hits greatest elongation east. Typically, this angular separation ranges from about 18 to 28 degrees, which might not sound like much, but in the vastness of the sky, it makes all the difference. When Mercury is at the larger end of this range, around 28 degrees, it appears farther away from the Sun's glare, making it easier to spot against the twilight backdrop. Conversely, when the elongation is closer to 18 degrees, Mercury stays nearer to the Sun's bright horizon, making it more challenging to see with the naked eye. This variation is caused by Mercury's elliptical orbit combined with the relative positions of Earth and the Sun during the event. The changing angle affects not only visibility, but also the length of time Mercury remains observable after sunset. At wider elongations, Mercury can stay visible longer in the evening sky, giving skywatchers a better chance to enjoy its fleeting brilliance. Understanding this angular distance helps astronomers predict the best times to observe Mercury, and allows enthusiasts to plan their skywatching sessions accordingly. So the next time Mercury reaches greatest elongation east, remember that the exact angle it forms with the Sun plays a starring role in how spectacular the view will be. Visibility conditions for Mercury at greatest elongation east. Seeing Mercury at greatest elongation east requires the right conditions, and knowing when and where to look can make all the difference between spotting this elusive planet or missing it entirely. Because Mercury stays close to the Sun from our viewpoint, it appears low on the western horizon just after sunset during greatest elongation east. This means you need a clear, unobstructed view of the horizon, no tall buildings, trees, or mountains blocking your line of sight. Light pollution can also play a big role. The darker the sky, the easier it is to pick out Mercury's faint twinkle among the stars. The best time to observe Mercury is typically within 30 to 60 minutes after sunset, when the sky is dark enough but Mercury hasn't dipped below the horizon yet. Weather conditions matter too. Cloudless skies are essential because even thin clouds can obscure this small planet. Using binoculars or a telescope can help, especially if Mercury's elongation angle is on the smaller side, making it harder to distinguish with the naked eye. Keep in mind that Mercury's brightness varies, so sometimes it shines like a bright star, while other times it's more subtle. Patience is key. Mercury moves quickly across the sky, so catching it during this short window requires timing and a bit of luck. With the right conditions and a little preparation, you can enjoy the rare opportunity to see Mercury glowing in the twilight, a fleeting but rewarding sight for any astronomy enthusiast. Difference between greatest elongation east and west. Mercury's greatest elongation comes in two flavors, east and west, and understanding the difference between them is key to knowing when and where to look for this speedy planet. Greatest elongation east means Mercury is at its farthest point east of the Sun, making it visible in the evening sky just after sunset. This is your chance to catch Mercury glowing low on the western horizon as daylight fades. On the other hand, greatest elongation west happens when Mercury reaches its maximum angular distance west of the Sun, placing it in the morning sky before sunrise. During this event, Mercury rises early and can be seen shining near the eastern horizon just before the Sun peaks over the horizon. Both elongations offer rare windows to observe Mercury, but the timing and sky position differ significantly. The planet's rapid orbit and proximity to the Sun mean it never strays far from the solar glare, so these elongations are the only times Mercury becomes visible to us. Whether it's east or west elongation, the key is to know when to look. After sunset for east, before sunrise for west. This difference also affects how long Mercury remains visible. Sometimes it lingers longer in the evening sky, other times it's a fleeting morning visitor. Knowing these distinctions helps amateur astronomers plan their observations and never miss Mercury's brief but brilliant appearances in our sky. So whether you're an early bird or a night owl, Mercury's elongations offer exciting chances to connect with this elusive planet. Why does Mercury's elongation angle vary? Mercury's elongation angle isn't fixed. It changes every time the planet reaches greatest elongation east. And, well, this variation is all thanks to the shape of Mercury's orbit. Unlike Earth's nearly circular orbit, Mercury travels around the Sun in an elliptical path, meaning its distance from the Sun varies significantly over the course of its orbit. When Mercury is closer to the Sun, the maximum angle it can appear from the Sun in our sky is smaller, resulting in a narrower elongation. Conversely, when Mercury is farther from the Sun along its elliptical orbit, the elongation angle widens, allowing Mercury to appear farther away from the Sun's glare. This shifting angle is also influenced by the relative positions of Earth and Mercury as they both orbit the Sun, creating a dynamic interplay that changes the viewing geometry each time. Because of this, some elongations offer better viewing opportunities with Mercury appearing higher above the horizon and for longer periods, while others are less favorable, with Mercury hugging closer to the Sun and setting quickly after sunset. This variation makes each elongation event unique and honestly, adds an exciting challenge for skywatchers trying to catch Mercury's fleeting appearances. Understanding why Mercury's elongation angle varies helps astronomers predict the best times to observe the planet and deepens our appreciation for the complex celestial mechanics at play in our solar system. So the next time you spot Mercury at greatest elongation east, remember you're witnessing a moment shaped by the intricate dance of planetary orbits. How to observe Mercury during greatest elongation east. Observing Mercury during greatest elongation east is a rewarding challenge that requires timing, patience, and, well, a bit of preparation. Since Mercury appears low on the western horizon just after sunset, your first step is to find a location with a clear, unobstructed view of the horizon. Think open fields, beaches, or hilltops away from city lights. The best time to look is within 30 to 60 minutes after sunset, when the sky is dark enough to see Mercury, but the planet hasn't yet dipped below the horizon. Because Mercury is relatively small and close to the Sun, it can be tricky to spot with the naked eye, especially if the elongation angle is on the lower side. Using binoculars or a small telescope can greatly improve your chances, helping you distinguish Mercury's bright, steady light from nearby stars. It's also helpful to know Mercury's exact position in the sky for that evening, which you can find using astronomy apps or star charts. Keep in mind that Mercury moves quickly across the sky, so you'll want to be ready and focused during this short viewing window. Dress comfortably, bring a chair or blanket, and give your eyes time to adjust to the fading light. Watching Mercury at greatest elongation east isn't just about seeing a planet, it's about connecting with the rhythms of our solar system and witnessing a cosmic event that ancient astronomers marveled at for centuries. So grab your gear, head outside, and enjoy the thrill of spotting Mercury's fleeting glow in the twilight. Historical significance of observing Mercury's elongations. Observing Mercury's elongations has fascinated astronomers for thousands of years and played a crucial role in our understanding of the solar system. Ancient civilizations, from the Babylonians to the Greeks, carefully tracked Mercury's movements across the sky, noting its unusual behavior near the Sun. Because Mercury never strays far from the Sun's glare, its appearances during elongations were some of the few opportunities early astronomers had to study this mysterious planet. These observations helped shape early models of planetary motion, challenging the geocentric view that placed Earth at the center of the universe. In fact, Mercury's swift and irregular path was one of the puzzles that eventually led to the development of the heliocentric model, where planets orbit the Sun. Over centuries, astronomers refined their calculations of Mercury's orbit by studying its elongations, which also contributed to breakthroughs in understanding gravity and orbital mechanics. Even today, Mercury's elongations remain important for both amateur and professional astronomers, offering a chance to observe the planet's phases and gather data about its surface and atmosphere. This historical legacy adds a layer of wonder to every elongation event, connecting modern skywatchers with generations of stargazers who marveled at Mercury's fleeting appearances. So when you look up and spot Mercury shining near the horizon at greatest elongation east, you're not just seeing a planet. You're witnessing a moment steeped in centuries of astronomical discovery and human curiosity. Fun fact of Mercury. Mercury is a planet full of surprises that make it stand out in our solar system. For starters, it's the fastest planet, zipping around the Sun in just 88 Earth days, faster than any other world we know. Despite being so close to the sun, Mercury has a fascinating quirk. Its day-night cycle is incredibly long, with one full solar day lasting 176 Earth days. This means the sun rises, sets, and rises again in some places, creating a strange double sunrise phenomenon. Another cool fact is that Mercury has a huge iron core that makes up about 75% of its diameter, far larger proportionally than any other planet. This massive core is responsible for Mercury's weak but detectable magnetic field, which is surprising given how small the planet is. Even more intriguing is that despite Mercury's scorching proximity to the Sun, NASA's MESSENGER mission discovered pockets of water ice hidden in permanently shadowed craters near its poles, places so cold that ice can survive despite the extreme heat elsewhere. Unlike Earth, Mercury has almost no atmosphere, so its sky is always black, even during the day. Its surface is heavily cratered and marked by giant cliffs and valleys, telling a story of violent impacts and geological activity. Named after the swift Roman messenger god, Mercury truly lives up to its name with its speed and mysterious features, making it one of the most fascinating planets to explore and observe in our cosmic neighborhood. Thanks for watching this deep dive into Mercury, at Greatest Elongation East here on InnoVision Tech. If you enjoyed exploring the mysteries of our solar system's fastest planet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss our latest tech and space insights. We love hearing from you, so drop your thoughts or questions in the comments below. What fascinates you most about Mercury? Join our community, and let's keep exploring the future of technology and the cosmos together. See you in the next video. Antarctica's ice is melting faster than ever, losing about 136 billion tons each year, enough to fill millions of Olympic-sized swimming pools. This massive loss isn't just a distant problem, it's reshaping our planet right now. What if all of that ice suddenly vanished? The consequences would be staggering, from flooding coastal cities to disrupting global climate systems. Did you know that the last few years have seen Antarctic sea ice reach some of its lowest levels on record, signaling how rapidly this change is accelerating? Massive sea level rise. The melting of all Antarctica's ice would unleash one of the most dramatic transformations our planet has ever faced. Global sea levels would surge by an astonishing 58 meters, enough to swallow entire coastal cities and reshape continents. Imagine New York, London, or Tokyo submerged underwater, forcing millions to abandon their homes and seek refuge far inland. This isn't just a distant nightmare, it's a chain reaction that would ripple across the globe. The sudden flood of fresh water into the oceans would disrupt critical ocean currents like the Gulf Stream, which regulate climate in Europe and North America. Without these currents, weather patterns would become wildly unpredictable, triggering severe storms, prolonged droughts, and shifting ecosystems. The loss of Antarctic ice would also mean the disappearance of habitats for unique wildlife such as penguins and seals, pushing many species toward extinction. On top of that, vast amounts of trapped greenhouse gases like methane could be released, accelerating global warming in a dangerous feedback loop. Economically, the damage would be staggering. Ports, infrastructure, and industries along coastlines would face ruin, costing trillions worldwide. The ocean's altered salinity would disrupt marine life and fisheries, threatening food supplies for millions. Even Earth's rotation and tilt could subtly shift due to the redistribution of mass, influencing day length and climate. The human toll would be immense, with mass migrations and geopolitical tensions over shrinking habitable land. Antarctica's role as a carbon sink would vanish, worsening climate change, while geological shifts might trigger earthquakes as the land rebounds from lost ice weight. This scenario reveals how deeply interconnected our planet's systems are, and how fragile our future could be if Antarctica's ice were to vanish. Global climate disruption. The sudden melting of Antarctica's ice wouldn't just raise sea levels, it would throw the entire global climate system into chaos. Ocean currents, like the Gulf Stream, act as Earth's climate conveyor belts, distributing heat from the tropics to the poles and regulating weather worldwide. When massive amounts of fresh water from melting ice flood into the oceans, these currents slow down or even shut off. This disruption could cause Europe to experience harsher winters despite global warming, while parts of Africa and Asia might suffer from severe droughts. Hurricanes and typhoons could become more intense and unpredictable, wreaking havoc on vulnerable communities. The balance of heat and moisture in the atmosphere would be shattered, triggering extreme weather events across continents. This sudden shift could also destabilize the polar jet stream, causing prolonged heat waves or cold spells in unexpected places. The ripple effects would extend beyond just weather. Agriculture, water supplies, and ecosystems would all feel the strain. Crops might fail due to unpredictable rainfall, and freshwater resources could dwindle or become contaminated. The interconnectedness of our climate means that what happens in Antarctica doesn't stay in Antarctica. It's a stark reminder that the planet's delicate systems depend on balance, and tipping that balance could lead to a cascade of consequences that affect every corner of the globe. Understanding this helps us see why protecting Antarctica's ice isn't just about preserving a remote continent, it's about safeguarding the climate stability that billions of people rely on every day. Loss of habitat. Antarctica's ice is home to some of the most extraordinary wildlife on Earth, and its sudden disappearance would be devastating for these creatures. Penguins, seals, and countless microscopic organisms depend on the frozen landscape for breeding, feeding, and shelter. Without the ice, these animals would lose their habitats almost overnight. Penguins, for example, rely on sea ice to rest and raise their young, and seals use it as a safe platform away from predators. The loss of ice would force these species to migrate or adapt quickly. But many may not survive the rapid changes. This disruption would ripple through the food chain, affecting predators and prey alike. The disappearance of Antarctic ice would also impact marine ecosystems, as the cold, nutrient-rich waters around the continent support a vast array of life, from krill to whales. Krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures, are a crucial food source for many Antarctic animals, and their populations depend on the ice for breeding grounds. Without ice, krill numbers would plummet, threatening the survival of species that rely on them. This ecological collapse would not only affect Antarctica, but could have global consequences, as many migratory species depend on these waters for part of their life cycles. The sudden loss of ice is more than just a local environmental disaster. It's a blow to biodiversity that echoes around the planet, reminding us how interconnected life is and how vulnerable it becomes when key habitats vanish. Release of methane and carbon. One of the most alarming consequences of Antarctica's ice melting is the release of trapped greenhouse gases, particularly methane and carbon dioxide. For thousands of years, these gases have been locked beneath the ice and in the frozen soil known as permafrost. As the ice melts, these gases escape into the atmosphere, acting like a powerful amplifier for global warming. Methane, in particular, is over 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide in trapping heat, meaning even small releases can have a huge impact on the planet's temperature. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. Warming melts ice, releasing greenhouse gases, which then cause more warming and more melting. Scientists warn that this could accelerate climate change far beyond current predictions, making it harder to control rising temperatures. The sudden release of these gases could lead to more extreme weather, rising seas, and irreversible damage to ecosystems. It's a stark reminder that Antarctica isn't just a frozen wasteland, it's a critical regulator of Earth's climate. Losing its ice means losing a natural barrier that has kept greenhouse gases in check for millennia. This feedback loop highlights the urgency of addressing climate change before these hidden threats are unleashed, pushing the planet into a hotter, more unstable future. Economic impact. The economic fallout from Antarctica's ice melting would be nothing short of catastrophic. Coastal cities around the world are hubs of commerce, industry, and culture, and a sea level rise of nearly 60 meters would submerge many of them entirely. Ports, airports, factories, and homes would be lost, disrupting global trade and supply chains. The cost of rebuilding infrastructure inland would be astronomical, running into trillions of dollars, and many economies would struggle to recover. Insurance industries would collapse under the weight of claims, and governments would face unprecedented challenges in managing disaster relief and relocation efforts. Beyond infrastructure, entire industries like fishing and tourism would suffer as marine ecosystems collapse and popular destinations disappear underwater. The displacement of hundreds of millions of people would create humanitarian crises, with mass migrations putting pressure on resources and social systems far from the coasts. This economic ripple effect would touch every corner of the globe, highlighting how deeply interconnected human societies are with the natural world. The melting of Antarctica's ice isn't just an environmental issue, it's a looming economic disaster that could reshape the global order and test humanity's resilience like never before. Freshwater redistribution. The sudden influx of freshwater from Antarctica's melting ice would dramatically change the salinity of the world's oceans, with far-reaching consequences for marine life. Ocean salinity plays a crucial role in regulating the density and circulation of seawater, which in turn affects nutrient distribution and marine ecosystems. When vast amounts of fresh water dilute the saltiness of the oceans, it disrupts these delicate balances. Many marine species, from tiny plankton to large fish, rely on stable salinity levels to survive and reproduce. Changes in salinity can alter breeding cycles, migration patterns, and food availability, threatening the survival of countless species. Fisheries that millions depend on for food and livelihoods would face severe declines, impacting global food security. Coral reefs, already vulnerable to warming waters, could suffer further stress from altered salinity, leading to bleaching and loss of biodiversity. This shift in ocean chemistry would ripple through the entire marine food web, affecting not only sea creatures but also human communities that rely on the ocean's resources. The melting of Antarctic ice isn't just a local event, it's a global disruption that threatens the health and balance of our planet's oceans and the life they support. Changes in Earth's rotation. So, the redistribution of Antarctica's massive ice mass into the oceans wouldn't just raise sea levels, it could, subtly alter Earth's rotation and tilt. When such a huge amount of weight is removed from the continent and spread across the oceans, the planet's balance actually shifts. This process, called polar wander, means the Earth's axis could move slightly, changing the way the planet spins. Even small changes in Earth's rotation can affect day length by just milliseconds and influence climate patterns globally. Over time, these shifts could lead to changes in seasons, weather intensity, and the distribution of sunlight across the planet. While these effects might seem minor at first, they add another layer of complexity to the already chaotic climate impacts caused by melting ice. This subtle wobble of the planet reminds us that Earth's systems are deeply interconnected. What happens in one place can ripple through the entire globe, affecting everything from the length of our days to the climate zones where plants and animals thrive. Understanding these changes helps us appreciate the full scope of consequences that Antarctica's ice melt could unleash. Impact on human migration. The massive rise in sea levels caused by Antarctica's melting ice would trigger one of the largest human migrations in history. Coastal cities, home to billions, would become uninhabitable, forcing people to move inland or to higher ground. This mass displacement would create enormous humanitarian challenges, including shortages of food, clean water, and shelter. Governments would face the daunting task of relocating millions, often across borders, which could spark geopolitical tensions and conflicts over resources and territory. Infrastructure in safer areas would be overwhelmed, and social systems strained beyond their limits. The cultural and economic fabric of many communities would be torn apart, as people lose their homes, jobs, and ways of life. This migration wouldn't be a slow process. It could happen rapidly, leaving little time for preparation. The world would need unprecedented cooperation and planning to manage this crisis, highlighting how the melting of Antarctica's ice is not just an environmental issue, but a profound social and political challenge that could reshape human civilization. Antarctica's role in carbon storage lost. Antarctica plays a crucial role as a carbon sink, locking away vast amounts of carbon dioxide beneath its ice sheets. If all the ice were to melt, this natural storage system would be lost, releasing stored carbon back into the atmosphere. This would significantly worsen the already critical levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide, accelerating global warming even further. The continent's ice acts like a giant freezer, keeping greenhouse gases trapped and preventing them from fueling climate change. Losing this function means the planet would lose a vital ally in the fight against rising temperatures. The increase in carbon dioxide would amplify the greenhouse effect, leading to hotter temperatures, more extreme weather, and faster ice melt worldwide. This loss of Antarctica's carbon storage capacity highlights how interconnected Earth's systems are and how the melting of one region can have cascading effects on the global climate. Protecting Antarctica's ice isn't just about preserving a frozen wilderness. It's about maintaining a critical balance that supports life across the planet. Long-term geological effects. The sudden loss of Antarctica's ice would trigger significant long-term geological changes, reshaping the continent itself. The immense weight of the ice sheets currently presses down on the land, causing it to compress, When this weight is removed, the land begins to slowly rise in a process known as isostatic rebound or glacial isostatic adjustment. This uplift can cause earthquakes and volcanic activity as the Earth's crust adjusts to the change. Over thousands of years, this rebound could alter coastlines and local geography, creating new landscapes where ice once dominated. These geological shifts add complexity to Antarctica's fragile environment, impacting ecosystems and potentially human activities. Interestingly, the land beneath Antarctica could rise by up to nearly a kilometer in some areas once the ice is gone. This process also influences sea levels locally and globally as the rising land changes water distribution. The rebound effect reminds us that Antarctica's ice is not just a frozen mass, but a dynamic force shaping the very ground beneath it. Understanding these long-term consequences helps us grasp the full impact of losing Antarctica's ice, not only for today but for many generations to come. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the incredible impact of Antarctica's ice melting. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on the latest tech and science insights, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss an update from InnoVision Tech. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and tell us what surprised you the most or what topics you want us to explore next. Together, let's keep exploring the future of technology and our changing planet. Time isn't as straightforward as we think. Research shows our brains can actually distort time, making seconds feel like minutes or moments seem to freeze, especially during intense experiences. For example, when you glance at a clock, it might appear to stop briefly, an illusion called chronostasis. This reveals that what we call time is deeply tied to perception, not just a ticking clock. Here's the striking truth. Time as we experience it is often an illusion created by our minds. Did you know about this fascinating fact? What is time, really? Time is something we all experience every second, yet its true nature remains one of the biggest mysteries. What if time isn't this unstoppable force flowing outside of us, but instead, a concept created by our minds to make sense of the world? When you think about it, time is how we measure change, sunrises, seasons, aging. But without change, would time even exist? Humans invented clocks and calendars to organize life, but nature doesn't follow a ticking clock, it simply moves through events. This means time might not be a fundamental part of the universe, but rather a tool we use to understand it. Science backs this up. Einstein's theory of relativity revealed that time isn't fixed. It can stretch and shrink depending on how fast you're moving or how strong gravity is around you. This isn't just theory. Astronauts in space experience time slightly differently than we do on Earth. So time isn't the same for everyone, everywhere. It's flexible, not absolute. This challenges everything we think we know about the past, present, and future. Maybe time is less about clocks and more about perception, a mental framework that helps us navigate life. If time is an illusion, then what does that mean for how we live? Could it mean that the moments we experience right now are all that truly exist? Understanding time this way changes how we see our lives, pushing us to focus on the present, instead of worrying about what's next or what's behind. Time might be a trick our brains play, but it's a trick that shapes our entire reality. Time as a human construct. Time as a human construct is a fascinating idea that flips how we usually think about our daily lives. We often assume time is this universal, unchanging backdrop against which everything happens. But in reality, time is a system we created to bring order to the chaos around us. Think about how different cultures have developed various calendars and ways to mark time. Some based on the moon, others on the sun, and even seasons. None of these are natural clocks. They're tools invented to help us coordinate activities, plan for the future, and remember the past. Nature itself doesn't follow a strict schedule. Rivers flow, trees grow, and animals live their lives without consulting a clock. This means time, as we know it, is more about human convenience than an absolute cosmic rule. Our brains are wired to perceive events in a sequence, which helps us survive and make decisions, but this perception doesn't necessarily reflect how the universe operates. When you realize time is a human-made framework, it opens up a new way of looking at life. One where the pressure to beat the clock or save time might just be a habit, not a necessity. This perspective encourages us to slow down, appreciate moments as they come, and understand that the ticking clock is more about us than about the world itself. Time might be a clever invention, but it's also a reminder of our creativity and need for structure in an otherwise unpredictable universe. The physics of time. Einstein's theory of relativity completely changed how we understand time. Before him, time was seen as a steady, unchanging river flowing at the same pace for everyone, everywhere. But Einstein showed that time is much more flexible. It can bend and stretch depending on how fast you're moving, or how strong gravity is nearby. This means that two people experiencing different speeds or gravitational forces can actually experience time at different rates. For example, astronauts orbiting Earth age just a tiny bit slower than people on the surface because of these effects. This isn't science fiction, it's been proven by precise experiments. The idea that time is relative shatters the old notion of a universal clock ticking the same for all. Instead, time becomes something intertwined with space, forming a four-dimensional fabric called space-time. When objects move or have mass, they warp this fabric, causing time to behave in surprising ways. This discovery forces us to rethink what time really is. It's not an independent entity, but a dimension affected by the universe's conditions. Understanding this helps us see that our everyday experience of time is just one version of many possible realities. Time's flexibility at cosmic scales hints that what we perceive as fixed and absolute is actually fluid and dependent on perspective. This revelation is one of the most profound shifts in science and philosophy, inviting us to question how we live and perceive existence itself. Time dilation explained. Time dilation is one of the most mind-blowing consequences of Einstein's relativity. It means that time doesn't tick at the same speed for everyone. If you were to travel close to the speed of light, your experience of time would slow down compared to someone standing still on Earth. So, while minutes might pass for you, hours or even years could pass for others. This isn't just theoretical, it's been confirmed by experiments with fast-moving particles and precise atomic clocks on airplanes. Time dilation also happens near massive objects like black holes, where gravity is so intense that it warps space-time dramatically. For someone falling into a black hole, time would seem normal, but to an outside observer, their time would appear to slow down and almost freeze. This phenomenon shows that time is not a universal constant, but something flexible and relative to your position and speed. It challenges the everyday assumption that time flows uniformly for everyone. Instead, time becomes a personal experience, varying with circumstances. This idea opens up fascinating possibilities about how we understand aging, travel, and even the nature of reality itself. Time dilation reveals that the universe is far stranger and more complex than our everyday experiences suggest, making us question what we really mean when we say time. The arrow of time. The arrow of time is a concept that explains why we experience time as moving forward, never backward. This directionality is closely linked to entropy, which is the measure of disorder in a system. According to the second law of thermodynamics, entropy always increases over time in an isolated system. Think of it like a messy room that naturally gets messier unless you clean it up. This increase in disorder gives time its arrow, pointing from past to future. Without this tendency toward greater entropy, time might feel reversible, like a movie you can rewind and play forward again. But because entropy grows, events unfold in one direction, creating the flow of time we experience. This concept connects the physical laws of the universe with our psychological sense of time passing. It also explains why memories exist only of the past, not the future, and why causes come before effects. The arrow of time shows that time's passage is deeply rooted in the fundamental workings of the universe, not just in human perception. Understanding this helps us grasp why time feels so real and irreversible, even if its nature is more complex than it seems. Memory and perception of time. Our perception of time is deeply tied to how our brains process memories and experiences. We naturally divide life into past, present, and future, but this may be more about how our minds organize information than about time itself. Memory creates a sense of continuity, allowing us to remember what happened and anticipate what might come next. However, the present moment, the now, is fleeting and constantly changing, making it hard to grasp fully. Neuroscience shows that the brain constructs this flow of time by linking events and sensations, giving us a sense of progression. This means that what we experience as time passing could be a mental narrative rather than an external reality. Different people can perceive time differently depending on attention, emotions, or age, which further supports the idea that time is subjective. For example, moments of fear or excitement can feel like they stretch out, while routine tasks seem to pass quickly. This subjective experience of time challenges the notion of time as a fixed, objective dimension. Instead, time might be a personal, flexible experience shaped by how our brains interpret the world around us. Understanding this can help us become more mindful of how we live and appreciate the present moment more fully. Quantum mechanics and time. Quantum mechanics radically challenges our everyday understanding of time, revealing a reality far stranger than we imagine. At the tiniest scales, smaller than atoms, particles don't follow a straightforward timeline. Instead, they can exist in multiple states simultaneously, a phenomenon known as superposition. Even more puzzling is entanglement, where particles influence each other instantly across vast distances, defying classical ideas of cause and effect. This blurs the linear flow of time we take for granted. Some interpretations of quantum physics suggest that time might not be a fundamental dimension, but an emergent property arising from deeper, timeless laws. In this view, the distinctions between past, present, and future become less clear or even meaningless at the quantum level. What we experience as time could be a large-scale illusion created by the complex interactions of countless particles. This challenges not only physics but also our understanding of reality itself, pushing scientists and philosophers to rethink existence. Is time truly a basic part of the universe, or just a useful concept humans use to make sense of their experiences? This question remains one of the most profound in modern science, inviting us to explore the mysterious fabric of reality beyond everyday perception. Time in relativity versus everyday life. In our everyday lives, time feels fixed and absolute, a steady rhythm guiding our routines. However, physics reveals a far more complex picture. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time is flexible and depends on your frame of reference, how fast you move or how close you are to massive objects like planets or stars. While these effects are profound in cosmic settings, they're incredibly subtle at human scales, which is why we rarely notice them in daily life. This creates a fascinating gap between scientific reality and our everyday experience. We rely on clocks and schedules that seem rigid and universal, but the universe operates with a fluid, relative concept of time. This contrast highlights that our perception of time is shaped more by practical needs than by cosmic truths. Recognizing this can deepen our appreciation for the complexity of time and encourage us to question long-held assumptions. Instead of seeing time as a fixed backdrop, we can start to view it as a dynamic, ever-changing part of the universe, one that challenges how we organize our lives and understand existence itself. This shift invites us to think beyond the clock and embrace a more nuanced understanding of reality. Philosophical views on time. Philosophers have long debated the nature of time, presenting two main views that challenge our everyday understanding: presentism and eternalism. Presentism holds that only the present moment truly exists. Past and future are illusions, no longer or not yet real. This aligns with our intuitive experience of time flowing, where the present continuously replaces the past. In contrast, eternalism argues that past, present, and future all exist simultaneously, like points on a vast landscape. Our sense of now is just a moving point of awareness within this timeless block. Eternalism finds support in physics, especially Einstein's relativity, which treats time as a dimension similar to space. These perspectives suggest that time might not be an external objective reality, but a mental construct shaped by how we perceive existence. This debate invites us to rethink our relationship with time, questioning whether what feels real is only a part of a larger, more complex universe. Understanding these views helps bridge philosophy and science, deepening our grasp of reality's true nature. Living beyond the illusion. If time is truly an illusion, it fundamentally changes how we live our lives. Instead of being slaves to clocks, deadlines, and schedules, we can shift our focus to the present moment, the only moment we genuinely experience. Letting go of the idea that time rigidly controls every second opens the door to a more fluid, mindful way of living. This mindset encourages us to fully embrace experiences without rushing toward the future or getting stuck in the past. It suggests that true happiness and meaning come from being present, not from chasing after time. Recognizing time as an illusion can relieve the stress and anxiety tied to its relentless passage, helping us appreciate life's moments as they unfold naturally. Rather than prisoners of time, we become mindful navigators, finding peace and fulfillment in the now. This shift transforms how we relate to ourselves, others, and the world, making life richer and more meaningful. Embracing the present moment allows us to live more deeply, free from the constraints of an imagined timeline, and opens a path toward greater awareness and contentment. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the illusion of time here on InnoVision Tech. If you enjoyed exploring these mind-bending ideas, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss our latest videos on cutting-edge science and technology. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share what fascinates you most about time or any questions you have. Together, let's keep pushing the boundaries of knowledge and innovation. Stay curious and see you in the next video. The world's most powerful militaries don't just rely on size. They combine technology, strategy, and innovation to dominate on a global scale. Did you know that the United States spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined? This staggering fact highlights how military power shapes international influence and security. So which countries do you think make the top 10 list of the world's most powerful militaries? Let's dive in and find out. United States. When it comes to military power, one nation stands head and shoulders above the rest: the United States. Its military strength isn't just about numbers, it's about a combination of cutting-edge technology, massive resources, and global reach that few can match. The United States defense budget dwarfs every other country's, fueling advanced weapons systems, stealth aircraft, and a vast network of naval fleets that patrol every ocean. This means the United States can project power anywhere on the planet, responding quickly to crises or conflicts. Beyond sheer firepower, the United States military invests heavily in intelligence, cyber warfare, and space capabilities, ensuring it stays ahead in modern warfare domains. The branches, from the Army and Navy to the Air Force, Marines, and Space Force, work seamlessly together, creating a versatile and adaptive force. Its personnel are highly trained professionals, supported by extensive research and development that constantly pushes the boundaries of military innovation. Whether it's the latest fighter jets, nuclear submarines, or advanced missile defense systems, the United States military sets the standard. This dominance is also backed by strategic alliances like NATO, amplifying its influence worldwide. Simply put, the United States doesn't just have a powerful military, it defines what military power means in the 21st century. China. When discussing rising military giants, China's rapid transformation demands attention. Over the past few decades, China has aggressively modernized its armed forces, turning what was once a primarily manpower-heavy military into a high-tech powerhouse. Its focus isn't just on quantity but quality, developing advanced missile systems, stealth fighters, and a formidable naval fleet that challenges traditional dominance in the Asia-Pacific region. China's expanding navy, including aircraft carriers and submarines, signals its ambition to control vital sea lanes and assert influence far beyond its borders. But it's not just about hardware. China invests heavily in cyber warfare and space capabilities, aiming to dominate future battlefields in new domains. The country's military budget, second only to the United States, fuels this rapid growth and innovation. What makes China particularly formidable is its strategic approach, combining technological advancement with sheer scale, backed by a massive pool of personnel ready to defend its interests. This blend of modernization and manpower creates a military force that's not only powerful but also flexible and increasingly capable of projecting power globally. As China continues to expand its reach, its military evolution reshapes the balance of power, making it a key player on the world stage that no one can afford to ignore. Russia. Few countries evoke as much military mystique and raw power as Russia. Its military strength is deeply rooted in a legacy of vast nuclear arsenals and advanced missile technology that continue to shape global security dynamics. Russia's approach to military power blends traditional might with modern innovation, maintaining one of the largest stockpiles of nuclear weapons in the world. Beyond nuclear capabilities, Russia excels in ground forces equipped with some of the most battle-tested tanks and artillery systems, reflecting decades of experience in diverse terrains and conflicts. Its air force boasts advanced fighter jets and strategic bombers capable of long-range missions, while the Navy operates powerful submarines and surface vessels that secure its interests in key maritime regions. What sets Russia apart is its strategic emphasis on asymmetric warfare, including cyber operations and electronic warfare, designed to disrupt and destabilize opponents without direct confrontation. This multi-dimensional approach allows Russia to punch well above its weight on the global stage. Despite economic challenges, Russia's defense industry continues to innovate, producing cutting-edge weaponry that rivals Western technology. Its military presence in Eastern Europe and the Arctic underscores its ambition to maintain influence in critical geopolitical hotspots. Simply put, Russia's military power is a complex blend of sheer firepower, strategic innovation, and historical resilience, making it a formidable force that commands respect and caution worldwide. India. When it comes to sheer manpower and growing military influence, India is rapidly emerging as a global powerhouse. With one of the largest active military forces in the world, India combines vast human resources with a strategic push toward modernization. Its defense budget has steadily increased, fueling advancements in missile technology, naval expansion, and cyber warfare capabilities. India's military isn't just about numbers, it's about evolving into a versatile force ready to tackle 21st century challenges. The country's focus on indigenous weapons development and space-based defense systems highlights its ambition to reduce reliance on foreign technology. India's strategic location, bordering several volatile regions, demands a military that's both robust and adaptable. Its experience in high-altitude warfare, counterinsurgency, and peacekeeping operations adds to its operational depth. What makes India's military particularly compelling is its balancing act, maintaining traditional ground strength while aggressively investing in air power, naval assets, and emerging technologies like drones and artificial intelligence. This blend of scale, strategy, and innovation positions India as a key player in global security dynamics. As India continues to expand its military capabilities, it's clear that this nation is not just defending its borders but shaping the future of military power in Asia and beyond. United Kingdom. When considering military forces that punch above their weight, the United Kingdom's armed forces stand out. Despite its relatively smaller size compared to some global giants, the UK military possesses a potent combination of advanced technology, highly trained personnel, and significant global reach. This isn't just about historical legacy, it's about a modern fighting force capable of projecting power and influence across continents. The UK maintains a sophisticated array of assets, including nuclear-powered submarines that form its continuous at-sea deterrent, along with advanced fighter jets and highly versatile naval vessels like its aircraft carriers. Its special forces are renowned worldwide for their elite training and operational effectiveness in complex environments. What truly defines the UK military is its emphasis on professionalism and its pivotal role in international alliances, most notably NATO. This allows it to leverage combined strength and participate in joint operations that extend its capabilities far beyond its national borders. The UK's commitment to defense research and development ensures its forces remain at the cutting edge of military innovation, adapting to new threats and technologies. From cyber warfare to peacekeeping missions, the British Armed Forces remain a highly respected and capable entity on the global stage, demonstrating that true power isn't solely about size, but about strategic depth, training, and technological superiority. France. Few militaries combine versatility and global influence quite like France's armed forces. Known for their ability to operate across diverse environments from deserts to jungles, the French military stands out for its strategic reach and technological sophistication. France is one of the few countries with an independent nuclear deterrent, underscoring its position as a major global power. Its air force operates advanced fighter jets like the Rafale, capable of multi-role missions, while its navy boasts a powerful aircraft carrier and nuclear submarines that extend its influence far beyond Europe. What truly sets France apart is its active role in international peacekeeping and combat operations, often leading missions in Africa and the Middle East. This experience in real-world conflict zones sharpens its military readiness and adaptability. Additionally, France invests heavily in defense innovation, including cyber warfare and drone technology, ensuring it remains at the forefront of modern military capabilities. The French military's blend of tradition, cutting-edge technology, and global engagement makes it a force to be reckoned with. Whether responding to crises or projecting power, France's armed forces demonstrate a unique combination of strength, flexibility, and strategic vision that keeps them among the world's most powerful militaries. Japan. When it comes to military forces that, blend advanced technology with a strong defensive posture, Japan's self-defense forces are truly impressive. Despite constitutional limitations that restrict offensive capabilities, Japan has built one of the most technologically sophisticated militaries in the world. Its focus is heavily on maritime security and missile defense, which is really crucial for protecting its island nation in a volatile region. Japan's navy operates some of the most advanced destroyers and submarines, equipped with cutting-edge sonar and missile systems designed to detect and neutralize threats before they reach its shores. The Air Force fields modern fighter jets like the F-35, enhancing its ability to respond swiftly to any aerial threat. What makes Japan's military particularly unique is its integration of high-tech industrial innovation with defense strategy, supported by strong partnerships with allies, especially the United States. This collaboration, honestly, boosts Japan's deterrence capabilities without violating its pacifist principles. Additionally, Japan invests heavily in emerging technologies such as cyber defense and space surveillance, preparing for future warfare domains. The disciplined, well-trained personnel combined with advanced equipment make Japan's military a formidable guardian of its national security. In a region where tensions can escalate quickly, Japan's self-defense forces stand as a powerful example of how technology, strategy, and diplomacy can combine to create a resilient and effective military force. South Korea. When it comes to military readiness combined with cutting-edge technology, South Korea stands out as a nation that takes its defense very seriously. Facing constant threats from its northern neighbor, South Korea has developed a highly capable and technologically advanced military designed to deter and defend. Mandatory military service ensures a large, well-trained force ready to mobilize quickly, while continuous investment in modern equipment keeps its forces sharp. South Korea's military excels in missile defense systems, advanced fighter jets, and a growing naval fleet that protects its strategic coastlines. The country is also a leader in integrating new technologies like drones, cyber warfare, and electronic warfare into its defense strategy, making it a formidable player in modern conflicts. What makes South Korea's military particularly impressive is its ability to combine mass mobilization with sophisticated technology, creating a balanced and resilient force. Its strong alliance with the United States further enhances its capabilities, providing access to advanced intelligence and joint training exercises. In a region marked by tension and unpredictability, South Korea's military stands as a powerful deterrent and a symbol of national resilience, ready to protect its sovereignty with both strength and innovation. Germany. When it comes to European military powerhouses, Germany's armed forces play a crucial role on the continent and within NATO. Known for their precision, discipline, and advanced technology, the German military combines high-tech equipment with strong logistical capabilities, making it a backbone of European defense. Germany invests heavily in modernizing its army, air force, and navy, focusing on interoperability with allied forces to ensure seamless cooperation during joint missions. Its army fields state-of-the-art tanks and armored vehicles, while the Air Force operates advanced multi-role fighters and transport aircraft. The German Navy, though smaller than some, is equipped with sophisticated submarines and frigates designed for both defense and international operations. What truly distinguishes Germany's military is its emphasis on technology and efficiency, backed by a robust defense industry that produces cutting-edge weaponry and systems. Germany also plays a leading role in peacekeeping and humanitarian missions worldwide, showcasing its commitment to global security beyond traditional warfare. Its strategic location in Europe means that Germany's military is not only defending its own borders, but also contributing to the stability of the entire region. With a focus on innovation, training, and alliance building, Germany's armed forces remain a vital and respected element of the world's most powerful militaries. Turkey. When thinking about militaries that combine size, strategic location, and growing technological prowess, Turkey's armed forces are impossible to overlook. Positioned at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, Turkey wields significant influence both regionally and globally. Its military is one of the largest in NATO, boasting a well-trained and experienced force that has been actively engaged in various operations, from counter-terrorism to peacekeeping missions. Turkey's defense industry has rapidly expanded, producing indigenous drones, armored vehicles, and missile systems that have gained international recognition. This domestic innovation allows Turkey to reduce dependence on foreign suppliers and tailor its military capabilities to specific strategic needs. The Turkish military's versatility is evident in its ability to conduct complex operations across diverse terrains, from mountainous borders to urban environments. Its strategic location also means Turkey plays a vital role in controlling key maritime routes and land corridors, enhancing its geopolitical significance. Moreover, Turkey's investment in cyber warfare and electronic warfare capabilities shows a forward-thinking approach to modern conflict. Combining a large, motivated force with cutting-edge technology and strategic positioning, Turkey's military continues to grow in power and influence, making it a formidable player on the global stage that demands attention and respect. The world's most powerful militaries don't just rely on size. They combine technology, strategy, and innovation to dominate on a global scale. Did you know that the United States spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined? This staggering fact highlights how military power shapes international influence and security. So which countries do you think make the top 10 list of the world's most powerful militaries? Let's dive in and find out.